why we are there, should we be there, and I have predicted that there will be a growing anti-war movement in the United States of America very shortly. The only reason the left is not protesting the war is because the rent-a-mobs that were against the war in Afghanistan, in Iraq, are now against those of us who want to retain our freedom with regard to health care. And so the rent-a-mobs are busy now being instructed on how to pretend that they're average citizens who don't really work for the Democrat machine. But the people themselves, particularly the families, the military families, are asking increasingly why their men are coming home in body bags and why they're coming home without legs and arms. This is going to grow. Now, this is not the first time bloody slaughter has occurred in that area. It's been going on for ages. There were, going back to the Indo-Aryans, migrated to India via the Khyber Pass, conquests of Darius I, Alexander the Great, Muslim invasions of South Asia, which then established the Mughal Empire in 1500s. Remember, the British invaded Afghanistan through India, and they fought 3 wars there, 1839, 1878, and 1919. 3 wars. A member of the British force of 1919 said every stone in the Khyber has been soaked in blood. Rudyard Kipling, the great poet, said it was a sword cut through the mountains. He's talking about the Khyber Pass. And that is a pass that connects Afghanistan to Pakistan. Why we are there? Again, strategic reasons, I would suppose, but what are the strategic reasons? Who are we protecting? And what are we protecting? Is it worth American lives to be there? Now, I turned on another show today driving into the studio, and I was shocked, absolutely shocked, to hear a fill-in for the golfer say that the number of men who have died in Iraq and Afghanistan is very small compared to World War II. I was shocked. I really detest hearing that, because these warmongers, the fake neocon warmongers, if you want to call them that, how they call themselves neocons, I don't know. They're really neo-libs, which I call neo-Marxists, because anyone who would say that the number of men who have died is a small number compared to World War II, when they themselves have not served, when they themselves do not serve, borders on the obscene. It has an ick factor that's very high. Makes me squirm to hear all of the armchair generals say, yeah, go get him. We love you. You're a hero. It's really sickening, frankly, to call for war when you're not fighting in one. And that's why I'm very proud to say we don't belong in Afghanistan. Not only because I'm not fighting in it, but because we have no strategic reasons there interest there that I understand. And if I don't understand them, how do you understand them? Why has Obama not gone on national television, and instead of talking up rubbish about health care and global warming and the other garbage agenda items of the left, why has he not gone up once and said, we are in Afghanistan and your men are dying for the following 3 reasons? He's Mr. Literate, isn't he? Mr. Glib, Mr. Literate? The man who can say anything and con anyone and pull gold out of sunshine? The man who can pull golden threads out of sunshine itself. Barack Hussein Obama has not given one speech on Afghanistan that I know of where he's actually said, here's the reason your husbands and your fathers and your sons have lost their legs, arms, eyes, and in Afghanistan. I realize it's a small number for the golfer. It's only a few hundred men are dying. It's nothing to the golfer. Harumph. Nothing to the golfer. Right on. All power to the soldier. Well, I don't know. One life is worth giving for Afghanistan. Do you? Can anyone tell me why we're there? I still don't know why we're there. If you can convince me we should be there, perhaps I will change my opinion. After all, this is a show where reason prevails. It may not sound that way, but it is that way. Explain to me why we have to be in Afghanistan. Tell me why Obama's war is a good war. Steve in New York, WOR, go ahead, please.
Hello, Michael.
Yes.
Michael, I'll tell you why American boys are dying in Afghanistan. They are dying for very much the same reason that Nazi boys were dying from 1940 to 1945 on the streets of Amsterdam, because they did not belong there and they were despised. But I would like to address your question as to strategically why the Bushes and the Obamas, and before that the Clintons and Papa Bush for that matter, why they put us there. Afghanistan is the key to control of the resources of Central Asia and particularly the resources of Siberia. The route for that oil out of Siberia, much, much larger than the oil, for instance, in the Middle East that we're all concerned with. The route to salt water necessitates passage through Afghanistan to the Indian Ocean. And if for no other...
Wait, pause right there. You're saying the route of an oil pipeline coming out of Siberia is going to run through Afghanistan?
100%, absolutely. And then just 100 miles or so, 150 miles through a small piece of Pakistan to the Indian Ocean. And the reason we're there, if not to get that oil ourselves, is to prevent that from going to China.
Wait a minute, let's pause for a minute. But the oil's coming out of Siberia, which is a part of Russia, correct?
Well, it's a part of what used to be the Soviet Union.
Yeah, part of the USSR, the old Soviet Union. The Siberian oil is now independent of Russia?
The oil of the 8 million square miles of the Soviet Union is no longer the property of the people of the Soviet Union, not even the people of Russia. It's the people, for instance, Sakhalin Island in the Pacific Ocean was surrendered to ExxonMobil in 1995 by Boris Yeltsin. The American, the BP people are the...
So you're saying this is still a war for oil?
100.0%. Absolutely. This is blood, our blood for Exxon's oil.
So you agree with me that the reason Bush lied when he said that the Iraq war would be self-sufficient, it would pay for itself with Iraqi oil, he lied. And the reason we don't see any Iraqi oil being pumped for reparations is because the Seven Sisters oil companies do not want it to be done so, correct?
Less than 7 now. You know, the Exxons have swallowed the Mobils, and by the way, that's fine.
Yes. No, I hear you. Sounds like you know what you're talking about. So it's another war for oil. Strange we don't see any bumper stickers in Marin County and San Francisco. I guess they're busy protesting Americans.
Savage. Michael Savage. Afternoons 3 to 7 on Talk 910 KNEW and online at 910KNEW.com.
Well, here's what's in the news today. I mean, I noticed the big headline is that Harry Reid, says that Kennedy's death, he says, I think it's going to help us. You know, with Reagan, there was a line from one of his movies, win one for the Gipper. I guess you could say here, win one for the Guzzler. Are they crazy? Why in the world would they exploit Ted Kennedy's death like this, number one? And number two, do they really think it's going to change the minds of most Americans? Ted Kennedy was not loved by most Americans. I want to repeat that. I will go on record again, and I will say that if a poll were to be done by Rasmussen, the most accurate of all polls, more Americans did not like Ted Kennedy than liked Ted Kennedy. So to keep going on and on about Ted Kennedy as though he's the second coming is absurd. I think they should, let him, God rest his soul. He's gone. It's enough already. Now, can you imagine who they're talking about replacing Kennedy with now? Chris Dodd, that other prize above all suspicion. Chris Dodd now is going to take a leadership position. Unbelievable to me. And speaking of leadership, where is Obama? Well, he's plotting his resurrection at Camp David, because his polls now, the polls for the most accurate are showing he's slipping away. Approval is at 45%. Unprecedented drop. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Obama together again. The people have seen him, they've heard him, they've watched him, and they don't like him. They increasingly don't trust him. So what they're plotting is anyone's guess. Now on to Afghanistan. Remember what you heard on the Savage Nation. I said that there will be an anti-war movement arising in this country, and it will be from the right, and I was correct. We're starting to see the arrival of some of these columns where they're saying, get out of Afghanistan, no more nation building. What are we doing there? Just what I've been telling you. This is Obama's war. The left said that when Obama would take power, there'd be no more war. Where are all the bumper stickers now? No war. When it was Bush and Iraq, no war, no war, no war for oil. No war, no war, no war, no war. And now they like this war because it's got a D on it. The hypocrisy of the radical left is beyond analysis. Where's the no war signs? Where are they? What are we doing in Afghanistan? Does anyone know? I've been asking this for quite a while now. Admiral Mullen, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, speaks of combating Afghanistan's culture of poverty. Are they crazy? Using the U.S. military to combat Afghanistan's culture of poverty? As George Will said, that took decades in just a few square miles of the South Bronx. And we're going to create jobs programs and local government services? They're crazy. They're out of their minds. It's unbelievable to me. Well, the fact of the matter is they've got to stop launching the New Deal in Afghanistan. What are we doing in Afghanistan? Then the wildfire in Los Angeles. It's menacing the city itself. It has nothing to do with global warming. It has to do with the fact that nature cleanses itself